Grab a seat, sip some wisdom, and stay a while. This is the Prosperity Lounge, where growth gets personal. Step inside, we're breaking chains.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, it's very pixelated. No, no. Trying to do my late night in the lounge look. I'll just have my green screen behind me here. Let's try a few different things here. Let me check my background. Yeah, it's a little pixelated on this side. Let's figure it out here. Guess we could try that. Let's just try that background. There we go. I don't know who's going to be joining me tonight. Waiting for people to come in. We'll see. You know, I got a live stream in my ear right now that I'm listening to. So we're just hoping to see what happens and how many people show up. I don't know if you guys like the full screen, you guys like the half screen. I don't know what you guys like. We can do that for now. That's fine. We'll just go with that. So, yeah, basically, we're here. It's Tuesday night. We're live. Here to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Try to stay away a little bit from politics if possible, but I'm happy to talk about just about anything, really. Let me kind of mute this other thing going on here. There we go. All right. Yeah, so back here. Perfect. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm waiting for people to come in. Let's give them a few minutes here. Get back into the stream. Get people notified that we're going live. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. Welcome if you're here for the first time. Hi, Keegan Norris. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you being here. Just waiting for a few more people to probably pop in the stream. If you got questions, let me know. Pretty much ask me anything in a sense, but we talk money, business, finance, community, leadership, anything else here you guys want to talk about. If you're visiting for the first time, please give it a, subscribe to the channel. I love that. Give it a like, comment, all that kind of stuff. Appreciate you stopping by. 6-7, yeah, 6-7. I'll do it. There you go. Yep. In fact, every night my show is on from 6 to 7. So there you go. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can find the show on from 6 to 7. There you go. Yeah. What should I invest in? Well, not being a certified investment advisor, it would be against the law for me to give you specific investment options. However, I will tell you to diversify your portfolio. So what that means is don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if you're looking at things like mutual funds, you pick mutual funds from a variety of different categories. Growth stock mutual funds, you pick from international funds, some small cap, some large cap. You buy a little bit of each and you diversify your portfolio that way. That's probably what you should be investing in. If the worst case scenario, you invest in the S&P, you invest in the index funds. There you go. That's the easiest thing. So if the index goes up, like the S&P 500, you invest in that only. If that goes up, you go up. You want me to do the 6-7 again? There you go, 6-7. There's actually a video on my channel. You can go watch it right now where I use the South Park clip of them doing the 6-7 to explain when my show comes on. My show's on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 to 7. There you go. Do I like sports? Yeah, I like sports. I watch baseball, basketball, football, a little bit of hockey, not too much. I don't really watch a lot of soccer or rugby or things like that. But I do watch a lot of basketball, baseball, and football. college and pro. Not as much college as I did before, but I watch it when I can. Same thing with the pros. Do a lot of fantasy sports, so I know a lot of the players, but I don't really sit down and get a chance to watch a full-on game every now and then. But what sports do you like, Little Fever? Little E forever. Hey, Bailey. Thanks for stopping by. You're here for the first time, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. I'd love for you guys to subscribe to the channel. We go live a couple times a week. We definitely are live every Friday for a live radio show that we do. We do behind the scenes. You get to watch it while we're doing it live, ask questions. And then, Mondays and Wednesdays, we do live premiere videos where we get in the chat and we watch some interviews and things. And then I go live after with some takeaways and stuff. And then every day we do a little bit of a video every day on a takeaway about prosperity and leadership and business and finance and things like that. I want to buy something for $130, but I only have 1.1K. Okay, well, you have more than enough money to buy it then. You could probably buy it 6 or 7 times if you wanted. What's the problem? Are you not sure that you want to buy it? You're not happy with the price? What's the hang up of why you don't want to buy it? Let me know, Frozen. Froze. Let me get that name spelled wrong there because I need my glasses. Frozen Zone. There you go. I think that's right. Let me know. Little E forever. What's your favorite baseball team? Did you like baseball? What is your favorite baseball team? Should I invest or save or something? Well, it really depends on where you are how old are you, first of all? If you give me how old you are, I could give you kind of a sense of what to do. I am a financial coach, financial therapist in a sense. So I help people, talk about what they should do with their money. I'm happy to give that kind of quick advice there, but without getting too in depth, without coaching on the fly, as they say. Happy to do it. But how old are you, Frozen Zone? That'd be the first question I ask. And then, of course, I'm not an adult. Okay. So you're younger. Being younger, do you have any debt? Like, are you old enough to have a credit card? Do you have credit card debt or anything, student loans, stuff like that? A lot of kids nowadays that are in high school may have a credit card or younger. If you don't have any of that stuff, I would probably just put it in a savings account. Okay. So I would probably just put it in a savings account. If you have $1,000, like you said, put it in a money market account at your bank. A money market account is basically a savings account that earns a little bit more interest than a regular savings account. You're at the stage right now that I want you saving for stuff. I want you it depends on how old you are, but I want you saving for school. I want you saving for college. I want you saving for a car. I want you saving for things like that, big purchases that you want to buy. That's what I want you doing right now. I don't want you spending a ton of money on a lot of crap because it's just not worth it in the long run. So definitely try to save up for stuff. And when you talk about investing, I want you to invest in yourself. So again, that might mean things like, hey, I want to take this course when I'm older, or I want to invest in this online program to learn more about, AI or coding or whatever you're excited about. Those are the things I want you to use the money for. I also want you to save up for things like a car and things like that. So that's what you should be investing in right now. Now, if you had a job and you're making consistent income as a kid, you had a summer job, you're 16 years old, you're making some money here and there on a consistent basis, then we talk a little bit different about whether you should invest some of it into like a retirement account or into a non-retirement account, things like that. But if you're just getting money from like friends and family, grandma and grandpa for the holidays, and you got enough money saved up for stuff, just keep it in the bank, put it in a nice account, like a money market account, get a little extra interest, and only use it sparingly if you don't need it. Yeah, no problem, Frozo. I appreciate you asking that question. We talk a lot about this here on the channel, a lot of stuff about leadership, community, finance. We have a free community space as well at theprosperitylounge.com that you can join. If you're young, that's fine with me. I don't care. Get in there and make some connections with people and learn to get some mentors. That's the other thing to do too. When you're young, is get some mentors. Get some people that are older than you that are doing things that you want to do, that are maybe have wealth that you want to have, and bug them, bug the crap out of them. Learn everything you can from them, especially at a young age. That will definitely help you in the long run. Any education you can get and any kind of mentorship you can get is invaluable. Literally forever. Astros. Okay, the Astros. Sorry about that. I missed that earlier. The Astros. Yeah, Astros are in the AL West for a very, very long time. I was an Oakland A's fan, so we were in the AL West together. Astros had our number every year. So, yeah, still do. Still have our number every year. The A's are not getting any better. But Astros, yeah. So what do you think about the trash cans and the sign stealing there, Little E, the Astros? Any truth to that? Any truth to the sign stealing? I'd love to know. Or is it all just made up and they didn't do anything wrong? Yeah. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, perfect. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, it could be. It could be the fact that they are got caught, maybe. But they're just a good team. I mean, they were a team for a really long time back in the, I think, early mid 90s, where, they were good in the late 80s. They had a bunch of players, went to the NLCS in 86, those things like that. But then kind of fell off for a while. They were a team that nobody really cared about. Really bad team for a while. Actually, we're a National League team for a really long time until that. Gosh, what was it like in the mid 2000s? They went over to the AL when the Brewers went back to the NL. The Brewers were in the American League. They went to the National League. The Astros went to the American League. And all that realignment happened. So I'm not trying to think when that was. I can't remember. I can't remember when realignment. I have to look that up. Yeah, but they were a National League team for a really long time. National League West. And they went to the American League West. You think they'd be in the Central, but they're in the West. Yeah, they were a pretty bad team for a while, but they drafted really well. Got some good players in there, Altuve and well, first it was Biggio, Berkman, and Bagwell, the Killer Bees, Roy Oswalt, and those guys. Billy Wagner. I believe it was Billy Wagner. Yeah, Billy Wagner. And then that was that iteration of the Astros. And now in Altuve and Bregman. Springer. I like Springer. Springer was a good player. They traded. Who they trade? Traded Dobby. I don't know who that. If that's a nickname, I'm not sure, but I know they do make some trades when they needed to. So I'll have to look up who that is. Let me see if I can get their roster. Houston Astros. Let's see. Astros predicted to sign Rangers All-Star and World Series champion. Who are they signing? Who are they signing here? Let's see. If my internet would work better, it'd be great. Who are they signing? Framber Valdez. He's going to walk. Okay, well, who are they signing then? Jonah Heim. Is he a catcher? Yeah, I think it's Jonah Heim. Anyway. Somebody just walked in my room. Perfect. Bregman's market collapses to 3. Oh yeah, they traded Bregman. Bregman's not even on the team anymore. What are we talking about? He's with the Astros. I mean, at the Red Sox. It's like the Blue Jays might be going after him. It's going to load up the Blue Jays even more. I guess if they lose Bichette, that would be an issue. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, I don't see that guy on the roster, dude. There's Dubon, but he's played a long time ago. Anyway, that's it for now. You think they're going to win the division again this year? It's possible. We'll see. I mean, they seem to win it every year. So, yeah. Dubon. Mauricio Dubon. Is he coming back? Let me see his stats here. He's a versatile player. He's definitely not like a full-timer, but he's a Gold Glover. So, defense wins championships. Getting good defensive guys, they definitely will pull out, stop those runs over average and stuff like that. So, that's what the A's tried to do for a long time, is just build guys on defense and guys that can get on base, and it would work. Moneyball would work. I watched Moneyball firsthand when I lived out there. It was a lot of fun seeing seeing it in action. But then playoffs come and it's a heartbreak every year. Still gives me nightmares that Giambi didn't slide. You watch that back. You go watch that back, that 2001 ALDS A's Yankees Game 3. And you tell me that with replay, Giambi wouldn't have been safe. First of all, I wish he would have slid. That probably would have made it easier. But he avoided that tag. It was such a bang play, though. Heads up by Jeter. But, man, that was heartbreaking. We were actually sitting upper deck on the first base side of that game. And definitely looked like he was safe. But, hey, thanks for stopping by, Little E. Make sure you subscribe on the way out. Give this video a like. Come back and watch some other ones. Put on a playlist and let it go so I can get some hours. I'd be happy. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you on the next one. Let's see what we got going on here. Watch another stream as we're going. Bye-bye. Thanks for the chat. All right. Anybody else want to talk sports? Happy to do it, guys. Want to talk football? Football season's almost over. People getting comfy in the house now. Heading out? Are you heading back out? You're heading over there? Okay, you're going to hang here for a bit? Okay. Sorry, that was my boss asking me what I was doing. Yeah. We talk football. We got last week of the season coming up. A couple big games. Who's going to win that Pittsburgh Baltimore game? So who's going to win that? That should be big. I mean, I don't know. Baltimore's been struggling a bit. They're talking about maybe trading Lamar Jackson in the offseason. Well, he's got like a no trade clause or anything, but it sounds like it's possible. Anything's possible in the NFL. Make enough big enough of an offer. Go to a better spot for him, maybe. Although, what is a better spot for him? Where would he go? I think the rumor was the Raiders, but I mean, does he? Does he waive the no trade clause to go to the Raiders? Don't know. Does Aaron Rodgers stick around another year, especially if Pittsburgh makes the playoffs? If they don't make the playoffs, do you think he's done? If they make the playoffs, do you think he sticks around, or do you think he comes back another year because he still showed that he has something to prove? That's a big question. So I guess it depends on how well players like Mahomes heal too, what the situation's going to be like in Kansas City for a quarterback. I mean, he should be fine by the time the season rolls around, but do they draft a backup? Do they draft a successor? Somebody that's or they wait a year or two to draft a successor, somebody that's going to lead them into their new stadium in 2031. That's the big question I think I have as a Chiefs fan. And the second one is, does Kelsey retire? Does he retire at the end of the season? Or does he play one more year, especially when Mahomes got hurt, get one more run together as a good team? They just need a running game. They had a decent running game, a decent O-line play. Then maybe they would have had a third title last year. That offensive line last year in the playoffs, the Super Bowl, and the defense, man, they just crapped the bed. But that's here nor there. Anyway, what else does anybody want to talk about? Put in the chat what you guys want to talk about. Happy to talk sports. Happy to talk. I don't know much about music, except unless it's old music or rock music, I guess. I don't know anything today. Sorry. If you guys want to talk about movies, happy to do it. Talk about upcoming Marvel movies, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys think of the Doomsday trailers? Yeah, you guys want to talk about the Doomsday trailers at all? Who's here? Who wants to talk? Who wants to put something in the chat for me to talk about? Little E was talking baseball. We talked baseball for a bit. We talked a little bit about investing, a little bit about what to do with some money for young kids. Not a problem. So hopefully whoever's here right now wants to check out, talk about some more stuff. So let's see. Just check this here. Cool. Switch. Interesting. Switch. Cool. Just sitting here waiting for people to come in. I got 4 people in here right now that are just not commenting on anything. Thank you for at least watching it for a while. keeping the hours alive as we roll on 25 minutes here. Don't know if I'll go an hour or not. We'll see. but goal is probably to do an hour. But happy to talk about whatever. I think we're going to maybe talk a little bit about the Marvel movies coming out, the Doomsday trailer, the Spider-Man coming. We haven't seen the Spider-Man trailer yet. That's coming out before Doomsday, but we still haven't seen the Spider-Man trailer. You think we'll see that maybe during the Super Bowl? I think we'll see that during the Super Bowl. I think that's probably when we're going to see a complete Doomsday trailer too. Maybe is the Super Bowl. Put all the teasers together and then roll that out with like the final first trailer. Maybe we'll see the Doom trailer at the Super Bowl. Probably the Spider-Man trailer then too. Should be interesting to see how that connects, because obviously Spider-Man's going to connect to Doomsday at some point. So, but from what I'm reading, Doomsday is a direct sequel to Endgame. Poor Captain America messed it all up. Yep. It is what it is. Let's see here. Let's make sure my camera's looking good. Yeah, well, looks all right. Checking out my phone and it looks kind of blurry, but what are you going to do? All right, I'll just sit here for a bit in silence until more people ask questions. How about that? I don't mind sitting for 30 minutes in the dark and drinking coffee. Tick, 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 tick. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 4, 1, 8, 9. I can't keep up. It is what it is. He's just trying to be whatever. Trying to do whatever's going on here. Keep getting notifications because I was going to do a podcast interview tonight at this time, and I got rescheduled, but I still keep getting notifications for it. Hey, thanks for joining. If you're here for the first time, thanks for just kind of hanging out, kind of just talking stuff, kind of just talking about whatever tonight. Appreciate you being here. Love if you subscribe if you're here for the first time. Give this video a thumbs up and a like. Really appreciate if you guys go back and watch some of the older content. Maybe just put it on a playlist, let it play overnight. Just do that a couple times for me. Give me some hours. Really working hard here. I'm trying to get those hours up. YouTube is very stringent on their hours, on their hour mark. So doing what we can. Let's go over here for a bit. Yeah, put it in there. Okay. Friend of mine is live right now, and I said when he's done to come over in my chat, have some fun here. So maybe some of his people will start coming in here just to talk. They were talking a whole bunch of stuff earlier. They were talking a little bit about Marvel, but we'll see. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the new Doomsday versus the whole Kang thing that they were doing? I'm indifferent either way. I really don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. I think it's interesting to have the same character. It was a beloved character or a beloved actor who played a beloved character come back and play a evil character. It's interesting how they spin that. So that should be that's I guess that's what I'm looking forward to. See how that works. But I haven't watched any of the TV versions of shows. Watched just about all the movies, but the TV shows I have not watched. We shall see what happens with that. Just checking the other chat out here. Yep. Let's see. All right. What do we got going on? Let me just look at the news. Pull up the news. No. Let's not pull up that news site. Let's go to a local one. Going on in Knoxville. What's this here? Blount County. It's the same place. Sunday, January 4th, 2 to 4. Where is this at? Google Maps. Sorry, you guys see me doing stuff while I'm live here. Oh, okay, I know where that is. What day is that? January 4th, Sunday, 2 to 4. That's funny. Anyway, all right, we got 7 people in here. Wow, thanks for hanging out, guys. We don't know what to talk about. Talked about a bunch of stuff in the beginning. Don't know what else to talk about. You guys give me some stuff in the chat to talk about. Because I can only talk about Marvel movies for so much, or baseball, or football. I mean, I'm able to carry on a conversation, but just keep hearing myself talk is enough to drive myself insane. Let's see what's going on in the news here. Ooh, there's a good one. Here's a good finance one. Let's see here. Can I share this? Let's see if I can share this. Share my screen. There we go. It's kind of small. Oh. Man, where'd it go? Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. There we go. Figured that out finally. Wendy's is offering 1-cent bacon burgers for 1 day only. Here's how you get one. Interesting. How do you get one? Junior bacon cheeseburger, Tuesday, December 30th. That was today. Okay. Well, there you go. If you have the Wendy's app, and Wendy's is still open near you, get 1-cent junior bacon cheeseburgers. I wish I would have known that earlier. You have to have an account on the Wendy's app, and the 1-cent burger is available with any additional purchase. So you have to buy something, and then you get a 1-cent junior bacon cheeseburger. Cool. That's a good way to save some money. Perfect. Hey, Noxy Knox, how are you doing this evening? Thanks for being here. We are just chugging along here in this live stream. Oh, it looks like the Vols lost their bowl game. Illinois tops Tennessee as time expires in the Music City. Oh, gosh. They lost a home game in a bowl game. Tennessee overcame a 10-point deficit. Let's see. Add on. Tennessee overcame a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter, but couldn't get a stop and couldn't manage the clock and paid for it as David Alano kicked a 29-yard field goal as time expired to give Illinois a 30-28 win over the Vols. Ugh. 8-5, the end of the season. Tennessee won the pregame coin toss for only the second time all season. Okay. Oh, Asian Parkway Bulldogs took the ball. Okay, what happened at the end here? Despite struggling, Tennessee got back in the game. Okay, they're down 27. They were up 27-21 in Illinois, 5:14 left to go. Tennessee's freshman receiver turned the game on its head a second later, bobbling, dropping, and then securing the ball and getting loose for a 94-yard kickoff return. The coverage team was better on lane. Okay. So that gave the Vols a 28-27 lead with 4:58 left. Tennessee's patchwork defense couldn't get a stop on the next drive, though. They quickly pushed the ball across midfield. Okay. After declining times, the Illinois score, which would give the Illinois the lead, but also give Tennessee offense a chance to answer. The Vols got themselves in the worst case scenario. Illinois got the first and goal in the final 2 minutes and intentionally burned the clock to get a chip shot as time expired. Well, there you go. That's coaching for you. That is coaching for you. Coaching this season has not been very good for the Vols. Some questionable calls early in the season, some questionable decisions led to the loss to Georgia. Firmly believe that. Firmly believe they should have beat Georgia had they lined up the kick right in regulation, but they allowed the penalty, and then they didn't move the ball to line up a straight kick, and the guy missed it, so they went to overtime, and we lost. I think that was a big momentum killer for the entire season. And, of course, losing to Oklahoma, then losing to Alabama, and then losing to Vanderbilt, and on and on and on. On and on and on. But at least they beat Florida for the first time in 20 years on the road. But lost everybody else. And then roll into a bowl game after getting trounced by Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, a month ago maybe. A month to prepare for Illinois, and then you just show up and crap the bed. There you go. A loss. 8-5. Start of the year, a ranked team, highly ranked team. Couple wins early on, moved them up around there. Even their losses, like they lost to Georgia, they didn't move down. They stayed in the teens. And another loss when they played Oklahoma, they stayed in the teens, and then they just kind of stayed around. And then, yeah, next year's going to be interesting for them. I think every year is interesting for college football now with the whole NIL and who's doing what. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes next year. It should be. I mean, if Heupel's not on the hot seat next year, I think he just had a big extension though. But if he's not on the hot seat next year, you got to perform. I mean, you look at Franklin up in Penn State. I mean, Penn State wasn't bad. They just weren't Penn State good. They were every other college team great, but Penn State good, and that got him fired. So at what point does Tennessee good get you fired or relieved of your duties, as they say? Daily Riot, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by, coming along, hanging out. Appreciate you stopping in. Not as fun as the Truth Between Lines stream, but we are having a good time trying to do it. We go back and forth, me and him. We're good buddies. So we always like, when you going live? I'll go live. You go live. I'll go live before you. Go live after you. Hop in, hop out. Put our cameras on. Help each other. But yeah, really trying to get him to 500, man. That's what we're really trying to do over there. What is he at? I got to refresh the page over there. 463, man. He keeps chugging along with these lives, but he definitely gets some people on there. Yeah, he avoids serious topics. He does them on his videos. He tries on the long form videos to get a little more serious. I think the lives for him are a little fun. He doesn't want to get too caught off guard without preparing, and I totally get that. I feel like that way sometimes too. Like I just want to ramble and riot, go off, but not being prepared for it. You don't want to get in trouble and put your foot in your mouth. So, but he does get a lot of trolls in there. I keep telling him, hey, I'll mod for you, no problem. But he's a little stubborn on getting that done. So we'll get it done. So this way he doesn't deal with all that stuff in the beginning. But yeah, I think the serious topics, probably people come in there and have a little bit of fun. You're right on that top part too, for him. But I'd mentioned yesterday when we were popping in there, I'd seen some of your stuff before and come across my feed. So I checked it out, and I noticed that some of the topics that he was covering were very similar to the topics that you were covering. And I said, well, Truth, you got to check this guy out. He's doing a lot of stuff that you're doing, but he's doing it in a different format, a different way that I think you should be doing it. Like you should be covering it how he's kind of covering it, and at least use it for inspiration. And so I appreciate you showing up and hanging out with him and that stuff. But he's definitely trying to find a niche there. Yeah, you'll say some stuff that'll get you in trouble with YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you say some stuff on your regular videos that probably would get you in trouble with YouTube anyway. I was watching some of those. There's a few that are like, okay, but man, that one you showed the other day, your last one on Minnesota was eye-opening. I'd seen some of it before, and actually he mentioned it a little bit too, and a post or a video about wanting to open up a daycare center before the end of the year. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I realized what he was talking about, and I was doing some research on that. It's just, dude, without even getting political from like a financial aspect, it is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. I mean, the one part where they're talking 102 kids, and it's 2.6 million. I was like $26,000 a kid a year. That's a lot of money. It's like $2,000 a month per kid, and like payment from the government. I mean, it doesn't cost you $2,000 a month to put your kid in daycare. I don't think. I don't have kids. So I don't know. But I don't think it costs $2,000 a month, $25,000 a year to put your kid in daycare. I don't know what they're reimbursing. First of all, that much money. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, you can't say anything about it either because you'll get in trouble. So you think these people orchestrated an industrial grade fraud operation in the hundreds of billions? I wouldn't put it past anybody. I mean, there's definitely trickles up for sure. It's not somebody just came over here and decided that's what they're doing. I think there's definitely fraud. There's fraud in all aspects of government. I mean, that's why Doge was so important, right? Doge was one of those things that came in there. And I don't know if Doge ended up being more of a, I don't want to say cover. That's not the right word. A piecemeal thing, like, hey, here's Doge. It's kind of done. We're good. Thank you, and good night. Yeah, we're kind of doing what we said we would do, and we've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then, all right, I said what I was going to do. Thank you. Look away now. Trump got it. Yeah, again, with the accounting aspect of government, it's really difficult to. There's so much waste. I mean, I live in a county where, you know, I have the annual budget in front of me because I'm involved a little bit in some of the local stuff here, and just looking at the budget, it's over $1 billion budget. We're a small county, and it's grown from 500, 600 million to over $1 billion in 10 years. Our school budget doubled, and the amount of students hasn't changed. So you tell me where that money's going. The amount of administrators have changed. They've gotten higher, but the amount of students hasn't changed. And if you try to cut some of that money, well, I mean, you're against the kids. How dare you? It ends up being a political grenade. Nobody wants to touch it. Hot potato, as they say, and you just throw it to the next person. But yeah, I mean, I believe that. I believe obviously we're building new ships, right? Where'd that money come from? It came from the tariffs, I guess. All the money we got taken in. Let's build some new destroyers. And by the way, don't look over here because we're going to send you $2,000 check over here, and everybody will be happy. Remember how everybody was happy when we all got our COVID stimulus checks and nobody questioned anything? That really stimulated the economy. Yeah, her other famous one was we gotta pass it to find out what's in it. That's the other famous one, right? I love that. I love how if I can get away with that at my job. Yeah, just sign this. After you sign it, I'll tell you what's in it. We'll find out what's in this contract after we sign it. Nope, that ain't gonna happen. But no way they're held accountable. It's a dirty business, man. It is dirty. It is really dirty. The more integrated I get into it and the more close I get to it, the dirtier it is. Like I had aspirations of like, I'm going to run for office one day. I'm going to be like a good steward and a good service of the community. And then you start exploring the options and you're like, man, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? And they drive good people away. They drive good people away from getting involved. You know, that old Mr. Smith goes to Washington routine. You know, just the good old boy who's trying to make a difference and goes and yeah, no, that ain't happening anymore. I mean, this system was set up for 2 years as a rep because it was farmers, it was laborers, it was the average Joe, and they didn't want to be away from their home for more than that amount of time. And they just wanted to do it for 2 years, and the next guy does, and the next guy does. This was never set up to have 50, 60-year career politicians. Man, I'm off on a tangent. When I was a realtor, my broker was mentioning me to run the city council, but after he broke down how it all worked, I decided against. Yeah, I mean, it is dog eat dog out there. We're in a position here where it's kind of the same thing. I've been approached to run for something, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. There's other things I maybe want to do, but I don't want to do that. Now that I know how it works. Because nothing really, you go there and nothing gets done and spin your wheels and you just become a target. And I'm happy just doing this podcast radio show, community space, running a media company and growing. Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually had that told to me to my face by somebody. I was running for something, for an appointment, and I had to go in front of commission and get appointed, and didn't get it. And I was told afterwards, "Hey, I apologize. I would have voted for you, but this other guy was running as well. He helped me on my campaign, so I felt obligated to vote for him." Cool. At least you're honest about it. I didn't care. I was glad. Actually, was glad the other guy got it. That was the point. If it wasn't me, I was glad it was him that got it. But still, it's the same thing. I don't give money to. I don't give any money to any campaigns at all. I just because I know like if I give one to one, I got to give to all. That's how Trump played it when he was living in New York. You got to give money to both sides just to hedge your bets. I'm not hedging my bets. I don't give money to anybody. I don't actively campaign for anybody. Somebody wants to ask me my advice on marketing or branding or like a position or a statement on how to do stuff like that. Happy to help. That's my expertise, marketing and branding and stuff like that. I'm happy to help in those messagings, how to word something or whatever. But to actively campaign, do I have signs in my car or yard? No, I don't do that. And maybe that's why I don't play the game. That's why. But I have integrity for that. I could sleep well at night knowing that I did that. In fact, here's a funny story for you. You'll get a kick out of this, Daily, right? Because right in that alley, that same thing I was going for. I had to have somebody on one of those votes recuse themselves. They had to recuse themselves because of a connection to me. And you know what that connection was? I had a radio show that aired about a week before with Santa Claus on my radio show. And all the money, every single dollar that we raised from that radio show went to the Children's Hospital. So businesses can sponsor the show. Businesses can check in and get like, hey, I'm title sponsor, I'm a feature sponsor, I'm this, that, and the other thing. So came in and she sponsored it. And like I said, she sponsored from her personal account, wasn't connected to her campaign, wasn't connected to anything else. I thanked her publicly for sponsoring the show. 100% of the money went, Truth Between Lines sponsored too. 100% of that money went to Children's Hospital. But because there's a business connection, she had to recuse herself from voting for me. Because she didn't want any impropriety. Now, I could have said, man, I really want your vote. Here's your money back. Doesn't help the kids. So the integrity of it is like, I don't care about the position. I want to help the kids. The kids are more important than some stupid board seat. And I think I got more of a voice and more of an impact doing what I'm doing outside of politics than I do inside of politics. I think politics is going to handcuff me. It's going to mute me. I don't know. I think the town aspects, we have a little bit of a different issue. Like we have county and city or county and town. And I think town is a little different. I think you could do a little bit more in an unpaid volunteer town position than I can on like a paid, county-wide position. And then there's also the thing, like I was talking to my wife about this. It's like if I get in there, or even if I start running, right, there's going to be issues that get brought up because of the show. There's definitely, I don't talk politics at all on my show. Doing a little bit tonight, but I don't talk politics. Even when I have politicians on, I don't talk politics. I talk, like I had Mayor Glenn Jacobs in Knox County on. We didn't talk one word of politics, but we talked community and leadership. I had a candidate for mayor who's going to run next year on. Talked community leadership, her experience, growth, a little bit about what she's doing, why she got involved, et cetera. I got a candidate for governor of Tennessee coming on in a couple of weeks. Again, not talking politics. I mean, we talk about everything else. You know where they stand based on how they talk about their leadership ability, their core tenets, their everything. You figure out who they are and how they're going to vote and what they stand for, without getting into actual issues and things. So, but where was I going with that? I don't remember. Oh, so, I'm thinking if I have the show and I say I run for office and I have the show and, campaign contribution limits are X and somebody maxes out and then they're like, hey, I want to sponsor your show and I want to give some money to the show. It's a separate thing. And they start throwing money at the show. Am I bought? Because they're sponsoring the show and I'm, running for office. Can they skirt campaign finance law and not even donate to a campaign, but donate to my job, my sponsor, and support me in that way? And then how does that make me look? I just don't want to deal with that crap. I have integrity, I have honor, I have trust. And that's why, frankly, that's why the show's been doing so well, because people like that. People see that. And if I mess with that, then I don't know. I ruin what I've built. Exactly. You can look shady without being it. And that just that perception of being shady. And there's another guy around us that does media and also is heavily involved. And he takes ads from a lot of different people and sometimes takes ads from Democrat campaigns on his site. And people are like, well, how can you be a non-biased voice in the party or in your position if you're taking money from the other side and promoting them on your site? And it's a big struggle for him. I mean, I don't think he cares, but everybody talks about it. The fact that people are talking about it, I mean, that's enough for me to be like, I don't really want to do that. Truth. I like being in the media because I can talk back with anything I don't like and not be struck down. Exactly. We are the media. We are the new media, according to Trump and the administration. We are new media. Conflict of interest, but what's so scary if you're grimy? Yeah. And again, you may not be grimy, Kelly, right? But it's the look of it, it's the perception of it, right? What's the phrase? Perception is 99% of the. I was going to say 99% of the law, but it's something like that. I'll go with that. It's that first impressions kind of thing. And that's not what I want. I want to grow this with integrity. I want to grow this with purpose and intent. And if it happens to be from one side or the other, and it's just you happen to be a good business owner and you have whatever, I don't care. Thank you. Yeah. I said that I would have I'd have people from both sides on. I don't care. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I want to talk to you. If you have an interesting story, if you got a cool past, you got a mission that you want to talk about, we can find some common ground. I want to talk to you. I don't care what position side of the aisle you're on. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. Like this whole high level hierarchy, we all want the same thing. It's the path to get there that's different. And I'm sure we can find some common ground along that path as well. So I want to find out. Truth. Somebody shared one of my videos and nobody made a negative comment about what I was saying. So I ran a 15-minute video proving all the ways he was wrong. Yeah, you can't do that as a politician. You'll get hammered and you'll be ousted. The greatest thing I heard the other day, I was at something, Truth. It was this forum about whether or not we should close the primaries here in Tennessee and have party registration, which we don't. We don't have party registration, and we have open primaries. So any side of the aisle can go to any side of the aisle if they want. And there's no party registration. So one of the leaders, when asked about party registration, asked all these questions. Every response was, well, I don't have an opinion on that either way. I don't have an opinion on that either way. What about this? What about this? I don't have an opinion on that either way. Finally, somebody looked across the room to me and said, "What does this guy have an opinion on? He's an elected official. What does he have an opinion on? He doesn't have an opinion on anything." And then we all tell him we want this, and he's like, "Nah, it's not going to work." But I don't have an opinion on it either way. That's crazy. Well, people are convicted in the public eye first before they can be convicted in a courtroom. Yeah, character assassinations. That's why those headlines, the first thing people read, the first thing people tweet, and then when there's a retraction, it's always on like page 52 in a small little box that nobody cares about because it's the first thing people read or the first, what somebody's labeled is what stays with them for the rest of their life, even if it's falsely labeled. It's so bad now in the social media space. You have to be very careful about what you say, who you say it to, how you say it, what you post, how you post, what the words you use, because anything can be taken out of context. I mean, going back to Truth's comment here about nobody made a negative comment about what you're saying. It appears to prove wrong, but it's kind of the same thing. You can just clip anybody's comments nowadays and really just go off. Yeah. I don't know much about that situation. I probably should, but I don't. I try to keep up as much as I can with everything going on, but I'm so inundated lately with doing a lot of interviews with like leadership people and CEOs and things like that for the podcast and the radio show, but I have not been keeping up with a lot of international and national news as much as I should. Yeah, poisoning the well for sure. They definitely do that. I know they have. It's not the same thing, but it's the fruit of the poisonous tree when it comes to investigations, where anything that's bared off of that, basically a poisonous tree in investigations is if like there's a false search, a search warrant, or you falsely search for something, and then what comes from that is the fruit of the poisonous tree. So if you had an illegal search, but you found the gun, well, that gun gets tossed out because the search was illegal. That gun is the fruit of the poisonous tree. So there's that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It invalidates the fruit. But poisoning the well is completely different because you're talking about in court of public opinion. Jury pool, right? Jury pool's out there. People are hearing stuff, reading stuff in the news, and they've already made up their mind. So you have to have a very good. And this guy's in England, I think, right? So I don't know how they do it over there, but here in the States, you'd have to make sure that you have change of venue for sure. You definitely have to have a good attorney trying to argue for change of venue. And if you don't get change of venue, then you use that on appeal because you're probably going to be convicted. But then you can use the fact that you didn't get a change of venue as an example that you didn't get a fair trial, and then you go and appeal based off of that and then try to get a new trial. A lot of these tactics defense attorneys like to use to convict the person, get them convicted, and then try to on appeal. Yeah, points in the audience size for sure. For sure, definitely. It's definitely one of those things like that for sure. Yeah, well, went down this rabbit hole of conversation. Usually I'm talking mindset and leadership, which is fine. I'm happy to talk about it. I'll talk about this stuff on my other channel sometimes, but happy to do it. Got 8 people in here having some fun. So I appreciate you sticking around, Daily Ryan. I don't know if Truth is still here. Truth was at a full house. Water source to make people sick. Yeah. No, you're fine. I appreciate the comments. Hey, any more comments helps for the algorithm think that I'm engaging. So it'll start helping me out a bit. Yeah. No, but thank you for sticking around here. Good conversation. We're not getting too into the weeds politically. But yeah, there's 8 people here. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Truth's here. Truth was having a party over in his house and had I saw he had a trash can earlier, so I don't know if he's still upright or not. He's getting close to his 500 subscribers. He's at 464. He's trying to do it before the end of the year, which was our goal that we set for him. But he's getting there. He's getting there. Seems to be gravitating towards those lives, which I think are good for him. Kind of found a little niche there with that. Yeah, I agree. I think it's I think having a conversation one-on-one or in person, you can definitely go past surface level. I think again, the one-sidedness of a chat where it's just me spouting out stuff and people when they watch this back are just going to hear my side of things and an occasional like, yeah, I love that in the chat, or thanks, that's a great question, and not get the full context of the conversation we're having now. So I think that's why I think sometimes people just don't want to go past surface level, especially in the lives. Some of my podcast episodes with people, like I go deep on like leadership and mentality around it and stuff. So like I'm probing people. Like I had a conversation today with a lady and it was on leadership and framework and growth and things like that. And that was her point. But she also came from that because she got COVID and nearly died and had a near-death experience while in the hospital. And I was just going to talk about that for like 5 minutes. And we talked about that for about 40 minutes. And we got into the whole craziness of that, which is where I wasn't planning on going, but we dug deep on it. And it was a pretty interesting conversation. So that's going to come out in a few weeks. But yeah, truth between the lines. I had to walk away for a minute. Party kids dropped the glass, and it was chaos. Hopefully, it wasn't that new glass that you were holding with the inauguration emblem on it or something, or it was a full glass of something. That's what happens when you have a house full of college kids, man. They're gonna tear your house apart. They are going to tear it apart. Hopefully, they drink all your booze tonight, and they have nothing left for the next couple of days, and that's it. Then they go back. See, what you should have done, Truth, is you need to get the camera out and you need to film the chaos for a short and then throw that short up as a YouTube short and on TikTok and go viral from the chaos. That's how you do it. 5, 3, and 1 is baking the oven. Hey, congratulations on the new one coming there. Congrats on the 2 and congrats on the 1 that's still cooking, as they say. Bun in the oven. Love it. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. But yeah, I mean, I think if we were in a one-on-one conversation, like I said, I think the conversation goes deep, and I think in the pre-recorded session it goes deep. Wow. But you got to be respectful of where people want to go. Like I told somebody, like if I'm going too deep with you, just let me know and I'll back off a bit. Like I want to be real with people. I want to give people have the experience of like, if I'm talking to somebody, like they're right here, they're right here next to me. So it's one-on-one, and then somebody else like right here, like you're part of the conversation. So you're learning and listening, but Anyway, like if I'm touching on something that you don't want to touch on, just let me know, and we'll kind of work around it. But I had somebody else today tell me, like, look, I've never told this to anybody before, but I'm comfortable telling you here. And told me some stuff that was new. And I was happy to oblige to listen to him. So I'm going to tease that episode. I'm going to tease it. Well, we got some cool stuff coming up in the new year. Let me get back to that for a minute. Starting next Monday, next week so starting on Monday next week, we have two things coming out on Monday. We have our 6 o'clock live premiere podcast drop interview. We do a live premiere in the chat, so you can come join the chat. And then afterwards, I do a live takeaway and working on getting the guests to join as co-hosts. So the guests will be there as well. We'll see how that works for the first couple weeks, but the first couple of people I interviewed, I didn't tell them about it until I decided to do it. So the first couple of weeks, there may not be a guest coming on afterwards, but we'll see. But that's the plan. Wednesday, kind of the same thing. We're dropping an episode. I have a couple pre-recorded ones that I did a while back that I'm still releasing. That'll be released on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, same thing, Eastern time. Live premiere with live chat after. And then Friday is our live radio show, behind the scenes, behind the screen kind of thing, where we're live from 6 to 7 and stuff like that. And then also Monday through Friday, we're going to be dropping a new daily series in the morning around 9 a.m. 5-minute daily dose of prosperity. It's going to be all on leadership, community, small business, wellness, and a whole bunch of stuff. Quick 5-minute stuff every morning. And then, so that's going to be the YouTube stuff. And then the occasional lives like this here and there, and throw it in when I can. Sometimes, the other day I was out filming a Christmas parade. So whenever I can do that kind of stuff, I get out, I do that. So that's the YouTube, Monday through Friday, 5 minutes in the morning, a little quick video, and then 3 longer videos at night. And then that's Monday through Friday. And then we have our Prosperity Council that we're launching in January. It's a place where people can come together and grow their business, grow themselves, community, whatever. You don't have to be a CEO to get in there, but you can be a business owner or just somebody who's looking to better themselves. We'll put people on the hot seat with any kind of question they're having around their life, business, themselves, and we'll help each other grow. So that's going to be in January. That's the high-end mastermind class that we're going to be doing. And then got my directory, Prosperity Lounge Partners, for business owners or for people that are looking for good quality people to connect with to do things like taxes, investments, a whole bunch of stuff. Every category is in there. If you have a business and you want to join it, you can just reach out, go to prosperityloungepartners.com and click on the Add My Business, get a free listing. If you want anything additional, you have the options to upgrade your listing and let me know. And then we got our new radio network as well, the Prosperity Radio Network. And that's our 24/7 streaming radio network. That's on TuneIn, a bunch of apps. There'll be an app for it as well. We're setting that up right now. That'll be where I'll be also releasing a lot of the episodes as well. Everything's also found on Apple, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to it there. But we're doing some live streams on the radio station as well. And then having some additional people have radio shows on there too. Trying to get Truth Between Lines, have a weekly show on there as well. So we're working on that. And do I go back to the chat, or do I do business leadership? Yeah. Excuse me. Mostly. I would say mostly, but I do. I'm from the finance space, financial coach, small business coach. Back in 2007, I was $370,000 in debt, and basically on the doorstep to bankruptcy, a couple days away, and needed something to do to get out of it, and got out. about 2.5 years and decided I was going to help people that were like myself, that were kind of stuck and alone. And I went into the personal financial advising space to be a certified financial planner, and ended up with an MBA in financial planning, but never did financial planning. I started doing behavioral finance instead, and started coaching people on their why they spend their money and their relationship with money, and found that that relationship with money and how they react is also their relationship with their job, the relationship with themselves, the relationship with their spirit, and the relationship with their significant others. And it's all interconnected. It's not somebody who is really good with, at least I haven't found somebody who is 100% great with the Lord, 100% great with their significant other, with their job, and with their loving themselves, but are horrible with money. It's always something else. Um, they're always like 50% across the board. Um, there's a content creator who does financial counseling. Oh, I know who that is. He's got glasses on, right? Kind of curly hair and glasses, and he just yells at people. Um, Kind of calls them out. Yeah, what the heck's his name? He was just doing that in the beginning, like he was calling people out, and then people started watching him, and he started getting a big following, and then all of a sudden he became like a guru or something. And it's like, okay, I've been through more than you've been through, but I just don't yell at people. Oh, what the heck's his name? Caleb something. Caleb Hammer. I think that's his name. Yeah, Caleb Hammer. He's all right to watch. I've watched him a few times, but it's the same shtick, you know. But yeah, I do too. I mean, he definitely like rides these people a bit more than they deserve, but they know what they're getting when they go on the show. Yeah, none of them really want to change. And I think that's the whole point of his series, is like people get on there, they know what they're getting into, and if somebody called you and said, "Hey, you want to go on this show?" You've seen it enough, like what you're going to get told, what you're going to get yelled at, how you're going to be doing it. That's just the way it is. But yeah, he's interesting to watch. Another one is like the money. Is it the Money Guy show? That's another one to watch as well. I've done that before. I watched that a bunch of times. I don't really watch a lot of the financial bros, whatever, that whole stuff. Yeah, I could see that. Bloody hell. I could see that. Yeah, I think that was what he was trying to go for sure. Yeah, but I think it's like going back to the financial space. It's there's a connection between all those aspects of people's lives, but a lot of people just stuck. Oh, there we go. I'm back. I was gone for a second. Looked like I was rubbed my eyes and went to sleep. Lost the camera feed. But we found that how people were treating their jobs or how they were treating everything else, and um, trying to find the easiest fix in that process. Like for one example, I worked with somebody who was having a hard time finances. Obviously that's why they call me, but found out they were having a hard time at work and having a hard time with relationships and things like that. So it wasn't just the finances, and there was a lot of emotional reaction to a lot of different things. So when work would come up and it would be stressful, and there was an emotional response at work was, well, I'm going to quit and go find something else. And it could have been the littlest thing they quit over, but they were job hopping a lot. So we made this decision that, like, hey, you're going to work through that when that first thing comes up, unless it's really egregious, we're going to stay at the job. And we work through that, and come to find out that the first little hiccup that they normally would have quit over, we worked through it, and they're like, man, that wasn't that bad. And they stayed at the job. They started getting raises. They started getting more responsibility. They started getting some confidence in work, in their workspace and what they were doing, and realized like how they were reacting there was how they were reacting in relationships with the significant other, how they were reacting in relationship with their money and everything else. And once we applied the same sort of principles of what we learned on how to react at work to these other aspects, things started to fall into place. And you could see their emotional reaction happen and then apply that. Success counselor, I turned myself one time as a financial life coach. And I think that's where I was kind of falling into that space. Not so much a financial therapist because I'm not a trained psychotherapist in any sense of the word, but I do have some training in financial therapy. But I'm not a trained therapist. And a lot of times, my conversations with my clients, if we're talking for an hour, it's 55 minutes of non-money and 5 minutes of money. But money is kind of that underlying root that kind of weaves into every aspect of life for them. So once we find out how your relationship is with that, and that also stems a lot of times from their childhood, maybe childhood trauma around money, maybe they were broke, maybe their parents were spenders, not savers, maybe they saw mom swiping the credit card all the time and thought it was fine, so that's what they do, just inherit their parents have done. And so it's sort of breaking old habits and helping them to reinvent themselves and then find these things that are things are doing well and goals they're having and successes along the way and really highlighting them so they know it's not as bad. First thing I tell people when they contact me when they're completely desperate, broke, and they have no idea what they're doing, when they've contacted me, it's like you just did the hard work yourself. You just did the hardest thing you had to do, and you succeeded at it. And but just by reaching out, you realize you needed to make a change, and you submitted to this fact that you needed to make a change, and you sought out somebody to do it. That's the hardest thing you're going to do this whole process. Harder than paying off the debt you have, harder than making change. So giving them that confidence that they've already made a win in their life in this process keeps them going. So I appreciate them reaching out and taking that step. Neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah, I just had somebody talk to me about that. I think I did a whole episode on that with somebody recently. I'm gonna go back and look. I have a bunch of episodes in the can that I have not released yet until this new year coming, but neuro linguistic programming. Pseudoscientific approach to communication, personal development. Neurological processes, language, and acquired behavior patterns. Yeah, I swear I just did a whole, not a whole, but somebody who was versed in this was a guest, and we talked about this for a bit. Talking about things like mostly over depression, because it looks like looking on Wikipedia, it's language you can use to get over things like the cold, allergies, nearsightedness, psychosomatic illnesses, but also things like depression, phobias, and learning disorders. I can see depression and phobias for sure. Kind of, rewiring of your brain. Yeah, it's for far way more than depression. Yeah, yeah. Looking at Wikipedia right now. Richard Bandler. Yeah, and John Grinder's book, The Structure of Magic. I'll have to look at that a little bit more. Yeah, definitely about motivation. Anything you could do to kind of hyper motivate yourself. Like one of the things I help people do is, first thing you do in the morning is like one of the questions I ask people is, what's one mindset shift or what's one thing that they do that changes the day for them or changes their goal and stuff. And some people like get up early. I have one lady's like talking about how she gets up and just has positive affirmations with herself. And if you start this day off with something positive, just starting the day off with something positive is going to lead you to having a more positive day. So things like making sure your bed is made, you've accomplished a task today, talking to yourself in the mirror, just letting you know you're gonna have a good day, being positive with yourself. Um, One of the guests I had recently was talking about, and I firmly believe this 100% after talking to her. I didn't know how to express it until she said it. And I'm going to be so psyched when I release this episode. But it was this thing about 100%, like if you love yourself 100% and how you view yourself, if you put something out in the world and to somebody, let's say I'm talking to you daily, right? And I say, I ask you how you're doing, or I have a conversation with you, and, you react back to me a certain way. The thought process of this conversation I had with this psychiatrist or psychologist was that is it's not the response that you gave is not reflective of who I am. It's reflective of who you are. And just that process in general, thinking that way, really takes somebody from being kind of hunched and whatever to really just propping themselves up and walking around with their shoulders back and their head high, because I love myself. And if I'm going out there and treating myself 100%, and I'm having a good time in the world, and I'm treating people like whatever, and I'm not getting it reciprocated, if you think it's about you, you start breaking yourself down. It was called this heart-mind connection, and your head starts breaking down, your heart starts breaking down from it. This connection of who you are, you start getting into this like fight or flight mode with yourself. And when you're in those situations, you can't think clearly, you can't act, you just go into survival mode, as opposed to being able to, you know, react in the world. But if you 100% love yourself, or you're 100% confident in yourself, and you go out in the world and somebody doesn't reciprocate to you, it's on them, not me. They don't 100% love themselves. They're not 100% confident in themselves. It's basically getting to the point where, and you said anchoring mental states to actions. It's, neurons that fire together, wire together. Exactly. That's kind of what this is too. It's like turning those into positives as opposed to negatives. People here know, hey, do you want to sponsor my show? Hey, do you want to work together on this project? Hey, will you go on a date with me? Hey, will you, all this kind of stuff that people hear in their lives all the time. They're afraid of the no. And so they don't take that step because they're afraid of the no. Because they feel the no is a reflection of them, as opposed to a reflection of the person that they're talking to, who may not be ready to have you in their life yet. And that's okay. That no is okay. It's not, I heard somebody frame it to me that a no is just a not yet. So if you ask somebody to work with you on a project or sponsor your show in this case, or things like that, and they say no, don't look at it as no as being definitive. Look at it as a not yet. They may not yet be ready to work with you. 80% aspiration, 20% perspiration. Yeah, there's this whole 80-20 rule, right? And the business that I was teaching and coaching was 80% of you do, or 80% of what you earn comes from 20% of what you do, right? This whole all 80-20 rules and stuff. But yeah, definitely that quiet daily, right? The 80-20 rules there for sure. I had one client, or one guest that we talked about, her training, her program was called the final 1%. Because people get 99% of the way there and don't know what to do when they get to the 100%. They're scared of that final 1%. It's so fast that maybe even get up to 99%, or that first 75% is really fast, or that first 90% is really fast. But that final 1%, people aren't really willing to take. I mean, I'm even that way too. I describe sometimes like to somebody, it's like, why don't you have more stuff out there? Why don't you have a course? Why don't you have more books? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? And I'm like, I do. I have a course. I have 2 courses. I have 2 books. I'm working on a 3rd one. I have all this stuff for people to access, but a lot of it's just not out there for people. And I explained it as I wrote this masterpiece of a symphony, this beautiful concerto, and we've practiced it for weeks. All the musicians are on stage ready to go, and I'm stepping up to be the conductor, and I'm peeking out through the curtain, and I'm looking on both sides, and I come back, and I'm just not ready to open the curtain because I just got to tweak something. And that style of living or that mindset it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. And I had this epiphany a while ago. I was talking to a mentor of mine, and I was telling him this story, and he's like, well, done is better than perfect. But when done, strive for perfection. So get it out there. Put it out there. Once it's out there, we'll tweak it. But if you're waiting for perfection to release something or to do something, you're never going to do it. So for the last 6 months, I've just been doing it. So some of these lives are better than others. Some of my videos are better than others. Just got to put it out there and see what happens. There's some videos I put out that I'm like, man, this is fantastic. And this is going to go viral. People are going to eat this up. And it gets 100 views. And then I throw something else out there that I just work barely on. And I go, this is going to be something. I'll put it out there. Whatever. I just got to release something. 3,000 views. I don't know. Then I try to replicate it. And the next video I put out that's similar to that 3,000 view one, 50 views. It's a darn algorithm on YouTube. That's what it is. But yeah, 80%, 20% of the agents at 80% of the business. Yeah, it's just that standard 80-20 rule. Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell for sure. I love that. I love that book. Algorithm. Yeah, algorithm is a trick for sure. It changes daily. It changes. It's probably changed during this live stream. It's probably changed. In the beginning, they were probably like, "Here you go." You get all those people to pop in at the beginning when you do a live short like this, and the room fills up. There's a lot of people. That's the YouTube algorithm throwing it out there. Say, hey, you should watch this. And then after a while, it's like, all right, nobody came in and stayed. You're good. Yeah, they're definitely pushing small creators through the hype program they have. But you got to be in the YouTube partner program to get the hype for them to be able to push the small creators. And YouTube considers small creators. I don't know if you saw this, but in their hype program, they say, we're hyping small content creators. And small content creators is anyone between 500 and 500,000 subscribers are small content creators. So you could have 499,000 subscribers and be in the same category for this hype program as somebody with 500 subscribers who just barely made the YouTube partner program. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. I know, Truth. You're getting there, buddy. You're getting there. May not be by tomorrow night, but you'll get there first week or two of January for sure. Oh, your titles. But your titles are what got you views. And then they're like, okay, we'll give you the views. I don't know, dude. You'll hit it by tomorrow. You're going to do like 5 lives tomorrow, New Year's Eve. Uh, just to, just together because you're getting like 10 every live. So if you do 4 more lives, you might get it. As long as Cicero gets in there and helps you out. He's 9, by the way. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, Daily Right. I would probably use. I don't know if you use programs like TubeBuddy or vidIQ. The vidIQ will get you some cool titles, and they'll actually give you like a number from 0 to 100 of how it will rank um, in like a virality score. So that's a good one to try. At least if you have to change the title, probably change the title to something that's you'll see where it ranks, and then you'll see where your current score is. 2,800 subs off of one video. Wow. It's probably that video with Candace Owens. I'm gonna guess the one that had 300,000 views. I think it was. Was that the one? Yeah. Yeah. I had I have another channel out there that's I don't talk about, but I had one video on there that got like a lot of like there's a video there with almost 2 million views and has like 4,000 subscribers from that one video. But it's a completely different genre, a completely different everything else. So I couldn't use that channel for this. Unfortunately, I had to start over. But taking what I learned from there to here has helped me grow pretty fast. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't use that channel for this. Wish I could have started with several thousands of followers, but that's a nameless, faceless channel. I don't want to promote it here because I don't connect it to me, but I don't talk on it. I don't show my face on it. I just video things around town and travel stuff and music and events and things like that. It was actually a music event I went to that was like something that ended up airing later on TV, but I put it out way before it aired. Got a lot of views, but then it got taken. It's still up, but it got demonetized and cost me a lot of money because it got demonetized. But yeah, I used to pay for vidIQ, but didn't do much, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I did their coaching program for 1 month to kind of learn a little bit more about what I was kind of doing wrong, and then I just went down to their regular one, and I like it a little bit better than TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy I still have, but I have it as a small creator still, so I don't pay much for it. And it kind of helps maybe make sure that I remember to put the cards in and captions and the end thing and that like this. But vidIQ is very good with at least with the thumbnail perspective. It's allowed me to change my thumbnails a lot. Like I was having just a lot of pictures of being a guest and just like normal, like, hey, we're talking. But now I've changed them to be more animated, like thumbnails. And you'll see back on my channel, my thumbnails are now, at least most of them are animated in a sense, and that kind of stands out. And they like that. They give me a good message on that, give me a good score on that. And then I go in there and I look at the titles and I see what are the most impactful titles that I think I put something in and I'm like, oh, that only scored like a 54. And then I go through their suggestions and I'm like, oh, this one's a 90, 92. Yeah, I like that. But sometimes they give you suggestions that make no sense. Like I'll be talking to, let's say I'm talking to Daily Riot about politics, and I say my conversation with Daily Riot on politics, and I put that in the title, and they're like, oh, it's a 47 out of 100, but this is a 92, and it's like my take on the moon. I'm like, we weren't talking about the moon. I have no idea. So take it with a grain of salt. But type stuff was popular, playing things like yeah. So yeah, there's actually real funny one. I mentioned this. There's a guy in one of these Facebook groups that I'm in about growing your podcast and your show and stuff. And he, on Friday nights, every other video he does like 100 to 200 views, right? It's just a regular video. But every Friday night, he goes live from his pizza restaurant. So all the other views during the week, videos during the week, are him trying different pizzas and him trying different things, different foods, and having conversations. They all get like 100, 200 views, 1,000 tops. I haven't seen more than that. But every Friday night for 3 hours, he goes live in the kitchen of the pizza restaurant and just puts his phone up like that. Doesn't say anything. And for 3 hours, people watch the kitchen make pizza. And he gets 200,000 views on a 3-hour live stream. 200,000 views. Let's see this least recent one here. Let me go to the page. I'll give you the most recent stats here. What was the last one? I think it's every Friday he goes live. Live streaming. Here's one. 3 days ago, actually. 356,993 views, 422 likes, 1,000 chats, and 127 subscribers. And he crossed 1 million views and 7.1 thousand hours of watch time in the month of December. 356,000 views in one live stream. And it's just 3 hours of people watching people make pizza. I got to find a restaurant to go to and just leave my phone up for 3 hours just to get monetized. I know we're in the wrong business, man. We got to just go to pizza restaurants and stuff and just put our stuff out and then get monetized and just live off of that. So, got to put up a short before bed. Y'all take care, dude. You got to be. We'll have to talk about it. Your strategy of just throwing stuff up whenever. You don't have to put up a short before bed. Just have it scheduled to go off in the morning. Nobody's gonna watch it overnight. Stranger Things. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go too, dude. I appreciate you guys hanging out, coming in. I'm gonna try to go live every day this week. I definitely will be getting live tomorrow. I know it's New Year's Eve, but I have an episode dropping. I think tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. I'll be live for a little bit, a little earlier than tonight. And then Friday I'll be live again. I don't know about Thursday yet. Friday night I'll be live again. So if you're, set the bell, come back in, hang out. Be more on a leadership topic probably, but love to get you guys' talking points and opinions. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm gonna head out too, guys. Anybody else in the chat? Thank you for being here. Sticking around. We had 8 people stick around for a long time. That's probably our record so far. I love it. What we say at the end of the show, stay faithful, stay fearless. And remember, freedom lives where faith and action meet. The lounge is always open, and so is your next breakthrough. This has been a great time. This is the Prosperity Lounge. Have a great night, everybody.